The silence that follows a catastrophe is a heavy, hollow void, like ash settling over a scorched earth. I stood on my dock at Silver Lake, Clearwater County, Montana, watching my $8,000 jet ski sink beneath the glassy surface, its handlebars twisted, seat slashed, tangled in plastic sheeting, and weighed by cinder blocks. Across the water, Loretta Baxter, Silver Lake HOA president, waved from her porch, a garden hose dangling from her hand, her smile sharp enough to cut through bone. She wasn't just an overzealous bureaucrat. She was waging a personal war, her mind twisted by delusions of control. My jet ski was her first casualty, but Silver Lake would become her battlefield. That morning, the sun gilded Silver Lake, casting a golden sheen over its tranquil waters. The air was crisp, carrying the promise of a perfect day. I sipped coffee on my dock, the wood creaking under my boots, savoring the calm that wrapped me like a blanket. Silver Lake was my sanctuary, a refuge from a grueling career in logistics and a divorce that left scars deeper than I'd admit. The distant whine of Loretta's leaf blower intruded, a pointless ritual. Her manicured lawn had no trees, just grass she hosed daily for show. Ignoring her, I took the jet ski out, skimming the water, the spray cooling my face, the roar of the engine a song of freedom. It wasn't a toy, it was my ritual, my escape from life's weight. Docking, I cut the engine, and there she stood, Loretta, clipboard in hand, her terrier, Muffin, tucked under her arm like a prop. "Is that thing registered?" she snapped, eyeing the jet ski like it had vandalized her property. I pointed to the laminated deed in my boathouse, proving Silver Lake was private, my jet ski exempt from HOA rules. She ignored it, her eyes narrowing. "Noise complaints, it's a chainsaw on water." I grinned. "That's the idea." She slapped a violation notice on me. 48 hours to remove it or face fines. I laughed. We'd played this game before. Her infractions, invented to assert dominance, were routinely tossed by her own board. But today, her calm was unnerving, a predator's gaze that hinted she'd scripted the endgame. That night, a faint scraping woke me, a sound shifting outside my lakefront cabin. Peering through the blinds, I saw only moonlight glimmering on Silver Lake, its surface a silver mirror. My gut screamed to check, but I dismissed it as raccoons and returned to bed. A stupid mistake. At dawn, the tether rope was slack, my jet ski gone. Sprinting along the shore, heart pounding, I shouted, searching the reeds and coves. Nothing, until I spotted it, half submerged near the HOA dock, wrapped in painter's plastic, sunk with cinder blocks. A yellow hose floated nearby, Loretta's hose, and Muffin's dog tag clung to the wreckage, a calling card of malice. Hank, my neighbor, a retired mechanic with a gruff voice, helped haul it out, muttering he'd seen Loretta lurking near midnight, her silhouette darting by the dock. Rage didn't hit. Instead, a cold numbness spread, not for the jet ski, but for what this meant. Loretta wasn't enforcing rules. She was trying to erase my presence from Silver Lake, to claim it as her domain. At the HOA meeting, Loretta stood at the podium, her smile dripping with sanctimony, her voice a polished weapon. "Before we start," she announced, locking eyes with me, "I must reprimand a resident for polluting Silver Lake with an unsightly, unmaintained watercraft. I've removed the threat. You're welcome." She didn't hide it. Her arrogance was a banner. I stood, my voice steady but sharp. "You sank my jet ski." She tilted her head, feigning innocence. "I don't recall that." Hank tried to back me, citing her midnight prowling, but she silenced him with a wave, moving to fine me $500 for littering. "You really want to do this?" I asked, my eyes boring into hers. Her smile widened, a predator's challenge. "You think I haven't already won?" This wasn't about a jet ski, it was about power, ego, and territory. Loretta had declared war, but she didn't know I'd been holding a secret for years, a weapon buried in county records, older than her precious HOA. She'd made it personal, and I was ready to wield it, not just to fight, but to win, to reclaim Silver Lake and ensure she'd never touch my water again. I didn't sleep that night, sitting on my porch with a flashlight and a dusty folder I hadn't touched in a decade. Inside were papers from a county auction when I'd moved to Clearwater County, a historical deed bundle most bidders ignored. I'd bought the lake bed itself, the sediment and soil beneath Silver Lake, complete with a 1940s map, a notarized transfer, and a clause allowing the deed holder to regulate lake access and activity under specific conditions. Back then, it was a quirky keepsake. Now, it was a landmine. I called Wyatt Harlan, a retired property lawyer who lived in a cabin and swore by his fax machine. Handing him the folder, I watched him read slowly, his glasses slipping, then look up, his eyes wide. This is wild, but it could work. The lake's water rights were vague, the HOA's control assumed but unverified. The original deed was never voided. The county hadn't reassigned the lake bed after the mill that owned it folded. Legally, I owned the lake's foundation, like owning the floor of a dance hall and pulling it mid-waltz. We drafted a modern claim, registered it publicly. No tricks. I was the lake bed's sole owner, controlling every inch of access. I never planned to use it, but Loretta changed that. I consulted Ellen, a former game warden who'd battled HOAs over lake rights. She taught me about buoy laws, shoreline statutes, and a clause allowing private lake owners to ban boats, fishing, or swimming for safety. I mapped Silver Lake, noting Loretta's house on the southern edge, near the main dock and clubhouse. The only road access crossed a 10-foot strip of my land, a gravel path nobody noticed. That strip was everything. I installed an automatic gate with a keypad and a sign. Private access to Silver Lake. Entry by owner permission only. Violators prosecuted. I posted warnings on every dock. Caution. Dock sits on privately owned lake bed. Unauthorized use may result in liability. Within days, Loretta's ally, Vernon, left a furious voicemail accusing me of vandalism. I told him to check the county records. He hung up. Loretta called, her voice venomous, accusing me of harassment and sabotaging the community. "You think you can take this from us?" she hissed. I let the silence linger and hung up. She thought I was bluffing. Let her. The HOA's Silver Lake Summer Bash was Loretta's crown jewel, a week-long extravaganza of food trucks, paddle boats, a band on a floating platform, and banners proclaiming Silver Lake family strong, Loretta leads. I moved to Phase 2, filing for a permit to install a wildlife barrier at the southern inlet, citing snapping turtles and invasive weeds. The county approved it in 48 hours. A crew set up a floating fence with locks only I controlled. I donated a shoreline section for a conservation study, gaining the right to restrict recreation within 50 feet. The lake was shrinking for them, and they were clueless. For party week, I ordered 20 red signs. Lake use suspended. Private property. Do not trespass. I bought buoys and a drone with a camera and LED screen. If they tested me, they'd do it publicly. Saturday buzzed with anticipation. Families arrived with coolers and kayaks, oblivious. Loretta stood on the main dock, arms crossed, a general surveying her kingdom. Then she saw the locked gate. Her face twisted as she stormed over, 2 board members trailing, jabbing at the sign, shouting. I stayed on my porch, sipping coffee, watching her empire crack. Panic hit when the band couldn't reach the stage, blocked by my conservation zones, buoys, and signs. Musicians refused to risk fines. The stage floated empty. Kayakers found my dock notices, warning of trespassing. Confusion spread. Parents snapped photos. Whispers grew. My drone launched, hovering over Silver Lake, broadcasting. Attention, Silver Lake bed is private property. Current usage is unauthorized. Contact the deed holder. It flashed my number. Phones emerged, videos rolled. Murmurs became a roar. Loretta's smile faltered. She called a sheriff's deputy, desperate to reclaim control. He arrived, reviewed my binder of deeds and permits, and nodded. Everything's legal. Private property's private. Clear the water, or fine start. Loretta shrieked about tradition, but the deputy was unmoved. The party collapsed, Band left. Food trucks idled. Paddle boats docked. Families packed up, some angry, others smirking. A teen yelled, "Epic fail," dragging a deflated float. Loretta stood trembling, clutching her clipboard, her voice cracking as she begged the crowd to stay. Nobody listened. By dusk, Silver Lake was mine. I launched a new jet ski, louder, taking a slow victory lap, the drone playing a soft tune. Loretta sat alone on the dock, muttering, defeated. The fallout was swift. A reporter ran the story. HOA leader locked out of her own lake party. Memes exploded, one captioning Loretta's face. Sank his ski, lost her lake. Loretta's humiliation fueled her obsession. She filed anonymous complaints, endangered birds, displaced turtles, chemical dumping. An inspector visited, checked my permits, and sighed. Someone's got a vendetta. Teens mocked her on social media. Her drone rant hit 30,000 views. Sabotage followed. Crushed grass near my boathouse. Footage showing 3 figures spreading invasive weed mulch. I installed cameras, motion lights, and speakers blaring llama bleats with a robotic trespassing alert. Loretta's lackey fled, spooked. She pivoted to theatrics, calling an emergency HOA meeting with the mayor and press, painting me as a lake-hoarding recluse. Her PowerPoint, grainy photos, mislabeled slides, dramatic music flopped. The mayor asked for legal proof. She had none. Marion, a former treasurer, exposed Loretta's dismissal of the lake bed deed years ago. Laughter erupted. Loretta stormed out, leaving her slide. Reclaimed the lake. Her support crumbled. Board members quit. The HOA's budget froze. An audit uncovered her nephew's fake landscaping contracts, triggering a city investigation. Loretta faced an ethics probe and subpoenas. Her newsletter hinted at threats. Walls imprison their builders. I struck the final blow through a shell company, buying HOA land listed to cover debts. They thought I was an out-of-town developer. I wasn't. I own the clubhouse, their shrine of brunches and bylaws. I changed the locks and waited. Loretta arrived with pamphlets, her key useless. She jiggled it, peered inside, and saw me sipping coffee. Her fist clenched. She looked ready to scream. Hours later, she returned with a locksmith and board members. I handed the locksmith the deed transfer. He backed off, unwilling to risk his license. "This is extortion," Loretta spat. "No," I said, "it's real estate." I gutted the clubhouse, tore down her plaques, and renamed it Silver Llama Haven, housing therapy llamas, Pickles, Thunder, Daisy, managed by a specialist. I opened it for free weekend visits. Families flocked. Kids fed carrots. Adults relaxed. The Haven's social media soared. Schools booked visits. Loretta's lawsuit, claiming llama misuse, was tossed out. The judge shrugged. He can raise llamas or zebras. It's his property. Loretta ripped wildflowers outside the Haven, dirt-streaked, unhinged. Daisy sniffed her bag. Loretta shrieked, falling into the soil. "You can't take everything," she hissed. "You gave it away," I said. A teen's photo, Loretta frazzled, Daisy chewing her bag, went viral. Tyrant versus llama lord. Loretta stopped fighting, listed her house, and fled to a lakeless condo. Clearwater County breathed free, lawns wild, a raptor statue mascot. The Silver Waters Foundation protected Silver Lake, funded youth. At the anniversary, I scattered wildflower seeds by the dock. Mrs. Carter brought pie, saying, "Silver Lake's a story now, not a prison." Tommy's drawing me. Jet ski, llamas framed, captioned savior. Marion revealed Loretta's notes targeting me. I wrote at dawn, pulling an HOA post, peace restored. Not from revenge, but dignity reclaimed.